In this specific video, we're going to talk about the original option and as well as the universal mounting option. Both of those are the same thing from how they work and how they function. The original, this goes back a long way to the Gen4 camera where the fiber optic module is located in the box. In this configuration, you're using the standard wall arm, and the back box is common. The arm just clips off. We have a lot of customers who actually will take the back box with a solid door, mount it on a ceiling like an overhead, and then they bring a piece of pipe with a pipe mount off of that and hang the camera down. They run the copper between the camera and the box, and that's where the fiber optic module is located. Gotcha. Inside the box. Same goes here. The fiber optic module is located in the box, okay, and you can put that on a wall mount, a corner mount, all the different mount configurations you could get for this, pole mount. And then you put the fiber optic module option inside the box, and there's a piece of cable that's included in the arm that connects the camera head, the camera module, back to the fiber optic module. Obviously, the box is very friendly in terms of mounting conduit to it, so you can bring the conduit straight to the box, bring your fiber out of that. There's enough room inside the box, and we'll show that in a bit, for a small service loop and do the other things that you need to do with power and so on and so forth with the AUTODOME. In the new universal common mounting system, basically it operates the same way. We can take any fixed camera that we offer that uses the universal mounting system, and we can put that onto the wall arm or onto the pendant arm with the appropriate cap, and we can make those cameras, any of those fixed cameras, whether it be the 8000 series that's shown here, the 5000 series, the multi-imagers, even the panoramics and the other options, and some PTZ options you can do the same thing with using this mounting system. We can make that the same thing. We can make it compatible with the fiber directly to the back box. And again, that same back box, same module, all that is common between the original G5 AUTODOME and the fixed series cameras in using that universal mounting system.
All right, well, let's dig into those and show everyone what it looks like. We have here now is a universal wall arm for a fixed camera, and the back box, again, surveillance back box, power supply. I know you want to show the customers how the fiber optic unit goes in there, how you dress it up, but how easy it is to put it in. And this is something that can be bought after the fact and put into the unit.
Right, so this is a little different than the G6. And in this configuration, you start off with the universal cabinet or a power supply box. In the configuration you see here, this is a 24-volt unit. You see this cable that connects the input directly over. If this was a 110 option, there would be a step-down transformer here at the top that you would be able to see that when you open the security cabinet up. So this is a 24-volt option. And please note that with this option, with this configuration, with the universal back box mounting kit and the G5 AUTODOME, the only power options you have here, if you choose to use this fiber optic media converter option, is 24 volts AC and 110 AC. If you take the fiber optic piece out of the equation, of course you can go back and add in the option to do PoE. But in the configuration with the fiber optic module, you don't have that capability. So this comes as part of the mounting configuration, and then you buy a separate part, which is the part that allows you to do the conversion. It's a media converter that's made to fit inside of this configuration. A little odd because it's a circuit board configuration. Comes in a couple of pieces. You get a bag with a couple of screws and these white standoffs, so you have to click those in yourself. And then you get this board and then the instruction manual to put it together. SFP is separate, and again, you buy the SFP based on which type of connector you want, and also what is it, a single mode or a multi-mode. And don't forget, you may need to add, or you may need to choose an SFP that matches the one on the opposite end, especially if it goes into a switch. Some of the types of switches require that they be very specific or manufactured or tested by the switch manufacturer. It may have a piece of software on it or a software key on it that allows that to work. And if it does, you may need the same type of a unit on the opposite end here in the SFP socket. This option, this module, this media converter, is only able to do 10100 or 100 meg connection back to the other end. So you either need a matching 100 base T or 10100 type media converter, or you need a switch port that is capable of operating at that speed. That's a little tricky. One of the things in the past we've run into, some of the more popular switch manufacturers that are out there don't have the ability to steer their speed on the fiber connection down to the 10100 speed capability, and so that's been a problem. So make sure that you have the capability on the head end or the switch end to accept that 10100 that this media converter puts out. This little cable comes separate. I went ahead and clicked it on here. It's also going to end up connecting inside the box, and I'll show you that thing, how that all works here in a second. So all you need for this is a Phillips screwdriver. The manual covers out where they go. One of these screws is going to go down here to this connection in the bottom, and the other screw is going to go here. And so what I would do is take the small metal bracket. Sorry, you're not going to be able to see this. It's a little tough to do because of the screws and having these giant fingers.
Now, also, recommendation here, make sure you pull power before you start doing this.
I mean, obviously, this has the power connections in it, so make sure you take care of all your safety things with that. Again, don't need to tighten these up to the point where you're breaking the circuit board. Just make them hand tight so that they're not going to rattle loose. And in here you'll see that I put that screw in and that screw in. It's sort of at an angle here, which then I would take my board, and it has the standoffs on it, and it basically is going to go in there configured like this. Snap those 3 standoffs into their appropriate holes on that little bracket until they click. The SFP socket has a little pop-out safety cover. Do that. Make sure you take your small cable, and it is keyed, and it goes into a connector on the back box board. So you see that goes into that connector right there, and the top piece would go into the connector here. They both click in, and again, these standoffs that you see, you can see them. They basically push through the board and hold or push through the metal bracket and hold the board in place. Once you do that, be very careful. I mean, all this stuff is basically bare components. You can take your SFP socket, again, appropriate to your connector and your fiber type. You can snap it in place. It clicks in. Once you do that, you would take your fiber, and obviously your fiber at that point would probably be coming out of a piece of conduit in the base or in the side or from the back, and you have your fiber. I always like to say make sure that you have enough fiber here for a small service loop. Be cognizant of the voltage and the safety stuff. Bring your fiber around the box, and then you can snap your fiber in place in the SFP. And again, from there, I would always take and use either a small wire tie or a small piece of Velcro and do a little bit of strain relief here so that nobody bumps this and makes it so that it breaks it. Again, you could also use a small wire tie for this configuration, but remember, it's a piece of glass. It's a little tiny piece of glass. And so at that point, you can have your small service loop in there and maintain your bend radius for your connector here at the top. And that pretty much tells you how to make a standard camera into a fiber optic camera in the either the universal cabinet or in the back box for a Gen5 AUTODOME, either one. So you can take any of our fixed cameras and make it into a fiber optic output camera, or you can take a Gen 5 AUTODOME, add this option, and make it into a fiber optic feed right at the camera itself. The last step to do is to connect the Ethernet cable, the Cat5 or Cat6 cable that comes back through the wall arm that's attached to this door that attaches the camera to this module. I'm just going to use this short jumper to show you, but it will come out of the arm. The last thing you want to do is just put that Ethernet connector, that RJ45 connector, into the module itself. Make sure it's snapped in firmly, and then you would effectively close the door. Use your Allen wrench to tighten that up, and that's all it takes to make your camera into a fiber optic version.
And if the customers have questions on any of this, how do they get in touch with us?
You can always reach out to the office. They get us via phone, or you can get us at support@midchest.com.